Did you know that "Stayin' Alive," one of the most popular songs by the Bee Gees, has been used in medical training to teach the correct rhythm for chest compressions in CPR? Yes, you heard that right. The Bee Gees, a band that has not only given us iconic music, but also life-saving rhythms. From their infectious tunes to their unmistakable harmonies, the Bee Gees have left a mark that extends far beyond the realm of music. Now let's dive into the incredible journey of the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees, composed of brothers Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb, started their journey in music from a very young age. Growing up in Manchester, England, the Gibb brothers were surrounded by music from the get-go. Their parents encouraged their musical curiosity, and before long the boys were harmonizing like pros. They were just kids, but they had a sound, a spark that was impossible to ignore. In their teens, the family moved to Australia, a new environment that brought with it new opportunities. It was here, under the Australian sun, that the Bee Gees truly formed. The brothers began performing at local gigs and on television shows, honing their craft and gaining a small following. They were young, but they were driven. They knew they had something special, and they were ready to share it with the world. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The Bee Gees faced their share of struggles. The music industry was tough, and breaking into it was even tougher. The brothers worked odd jobs to support themselves, all the while writing songs and performing at every opportunity they got. They faced rejection, they faced doubt, but they never let it dampen their spirits. Barry, the eldest, was the group's main songwriter, crafting melodies that were both catchy and emotional. Robin and Maurice added their own touches, their voices blending together in a harmony that was uniquely Bee Gees. Their determination was finally rewarded when they scored their first recording contract, a moment that marked the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. It was a hard-earned victory, a testament to their unwavering belief in their music. The Bee Gees had arrived, and they were ready to make their mark. But the road ahead was long, filled with highs and lows, triumphs and tragedies. Yet, they faced it all with the same passion and determination that had brought them this far. Their determination and passion for music led them to their first big break. The Bee Gees had their first taste of international success in the late 1960s. Bursting onto the scenes with their unique harmonies and infectious melodies, they quickly captivated the attention of music lovers worldwide. They were three brothers from Manchester, England, who had found their calling in the world of music: Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb. Their first major hit, New York Mining Disaster 1941, released in 1967, was a hauntingly beautiful song that showcased their harmonious vocals and knack for storytelling. This track was the beginning of their journey to stardom, and it wasn't long before their music was being played on radios around the globe. In the following years, the Bee Gees churned out multiple chart-topping hits. From the soulful "To Love Somebody" to the emotionally charged "I Started a Joke," their unique blend of pop and rock resonated with the listeners. The band was on a roll and their popularity was soaring. But what truly set the Bee Gees apart was their ability to reinvent themselves. Their music was constantly evolving, reflecting the changing times and tastes of their audience. They were not afraid to experiment with different genres and styles, and this adaptability was one of the key factors in their enduring success. As the 1960s drew to a close, the Bee Gees had established themselves as a household name. Their music was being played in homes, cafes, and discos. Their distinct sound, characterized by tight harmonies and catchy melodies, had left an indelible mark on the music scene. The Bee Gees were, without a doubt, one of the most successful bands of the era. But the Bee Gees were not just about to rest on their laurels, they were gearing up for a transformation that would redefine pop music. With the dawn of the disco era, the Bee Gees were poised to conquer new heights and leave an even deeper imprint on the world of music. But that, dear listeners, is a story for another time. The 1970s saw the Bee Gees reinvent themselves as the kings of disco. This decade was a time of change, a time of glittering lights, and a time when the dance floor came alive with the pulsating rhythm of disco music. And at the heart of it all, driving the beat and setting the tempo, were the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees didn't just contribute to the disco era, they defined it. Their infectious tunes and captivating lyrics set the stage for a new wave of music, one that would sweep across dance floors around the world. From "You Should Be Dancing" to "Night Fever," the Bee Gees were the soundtrack of the disco era. But it wasn't just their music that made an impact. The Bee Gees' influence extended into the film industry too. The 1977 movie Saturday Night Fever, starring John Travolta, was a major success. and a large part of that success was due to the Bee Gees. The band provided 5 songs for the soundtrack, and each one was a hit. How Deep Is Your Love, Night Fever, More Than a Woman, Jive Talkin', and of course, Stayin' Alive became anthems for a generation. Stayin' Alive in particular became synonymous with the disco era. Its driving beat, memorable lyrics, and unmistakable falsetto vocals captured the energy and excitement of the time. It topped charts around the world and remains one of the most iconic disco songs to this day. The Bee Gees' success during the disco era was unprecedented. They dominated the charts, won numerous awards, and their music became a cultural phenomenon. But more than that, they helped shape the sound of a decade. They gave voice to the disco era, and in doing so, they changed the course of music history. The Bee Gees had now established themselves as icons of pop culture. Despite facing personal and professional challenges, the Bee Gees continued to make music well into the new millennium. As the disco era waned, the Bee Gees found themselves navigating a rapidly changing musical landscape. Yet, they didn't just survive, they thrived, adapting their signature harmonies to new genres and continuing to churn out hits. The 90s and early 2000s were a time of reinvention for the Bee Gees. They experimented with different sounds and styles but always stayed true to their pop roots. Even as their personal lives were marred with struggles and loss, their music remained a beacon of hope for their fans. The death of Maurice Gibb in January 2003 marked a significant blow to the group. Yet, in the face of grief, the remaining brothers, Barry and Robin, showed remarkable resilience. They continued to perform, honoring Maurice's memory by keeping the music they had created together alive. Their later years were a testament to the power of their bond as brothers and as artists. The Bee Gees weathered the storm of fame, the shifting tides of the music industry,